Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. And today, once again, all by myself, as I am here to bring to you a double dose of pro wrestling predictions. So, let's get into it, starting off with MLW's Battle Riot, which takes place this Saturday, July 10th. I believe it is for their debut on Vice TV. I also believe it will be on YouTube, either simulcasting the same day or in a usual spot the following Wednesday, I believe. Don't quote me on that. So, anyway, card is as followed. First match will be a singles match between two kind of cruiserweighty competitors. TJP, who has been a long-standing member of the MLW roster as well as the Impact roster. We'll talk about them next week. And he will be taking on the returning Davey Richards. Now, Davey previously wrestled in both ROH and Impact. And at Impact, I believe he suffered a knee injury. Either it was a knee or a shoulder, which took him out of action for quite a while. So this is going to be his first match back. Easy prediction, Mr. Davey Richards. Next match, a tag team match. Playa as former tag team champions, the Von Erichs, Ross and Marshall, take on Team Filthy, which is being represented by Tom Lawler and Kevin Koo. Lawler actually just won the New Japan Strong title, which is pretty interesting. I do enjoy that. Also, Tom Lawler being a former MLW World Champion. So, got an old championship match in this one. I think Team Filthy gets the win here. As much as I would like to say the Von Erichs get a big old W here, I think we are going to get a heel victory here. Next up in our only championship match, as it is the IWA Caribbean Championship on the line, as champion Richard Holiday takes on Mil Muertes, although he's being called King Muertes. I believe that's a Lucha Underground thing? I'm not sure. I never really watched Lucha Underground. Holiday won this title from promotions champion Savio Vega. This is going to be a squash. I'm sorry, Richard. I love you, dude. You're going to get killed. This is the easiest prediction I could make. And now for the Battle Riot match, where the winner gets a shot at the MLW World title in the future. Current champion, Jacob freaking Fatu. If you don't know who he is, look him up. He's amazing. Black sheep of the Anoa'i family. Now, participants in this match include the MLW Openweight Champion, Alexander Hammerstone, the new IWA Puerto Rican Champion, King Muertes, Richard Holiday, Zen Shi, Lee Moriarty, I believe his name is, who is another new signing of MLW, TJP, Gringo Loco, who is quite the character, Aries, who is a luchador type character, so he would be very good. Oh, this is a 40-man battle royal, by the way. Definitely Royal Rumble style entrance. over the top rope, both feet hit the floor, you are out. Who else we got? We got Kevin Koo, Team Filthy member. Mads Kruger of Contra Unit, whose leader is, of course, Jacob Fatu. Myron Reed, the MLW middleweight champion. Gio Medea, former member of, who was MJF's faction? Damn it, I keep forgetting. That was a great faction. I love those guys. Calvin Takeman, a bit of a star that was signed last year during the pandemic, who is very good. Savio Vega, an old school name. And he can still go, which is great. EJ Naguda, I believe his name is. A recent signing and a recent release from NXT WWE, which is interesting. Aramis, I believe his name is. Another luchador type. Probably would be my first time seeing this. Both Ross and Marshall Von Erich. King Mo, ex-MMA fighter, getting his shots in the ring. Buku Dao, who is an Asian former protege of TJP until they had a match and it was revealed that TJP was bullying the poor guy. Alex Kane. Why does that name sound familiar? Anyway, he's another new signing, I believe. Davey Richards. Davari, another member of Contra Unit. Kid Osborne, who I believe was a fake Von Erich before the pandemic happened, which, funny. I also kind of believe mascot of Team Filthy, kind of. Joseph Samael and Simon Gotch, the last two members of Contra. Oh, and also another member of Contra Unit, Ikaro Kwan, who was a member added on late last year before the pandemic and hasn't been to the U.S. since. So, and the last member, Filthy Tom, who won it a previous year and this past year won the Opera Cup. Out of these names, the one I do want to see the most is Alexander Hammerstone. They've been building up that rivalry for feels like forever. But you know what? I'm going with it. Hammerstone for the win, although he will probably have to vacate the openweight title. And that'll probably do it. That is my predictions for Battle Riot on Saturday. Now is the other predictions I'm going to make. So please sit tight. Oh, come on. With ROH's Best in the World show. Now, if you don't know ROH, it's a pretty little company, has its ups and downs, but ultimately it has found its stride throughout the pandemic. So we got a couple of pre-show matches. First one is Danhausen and PCO versus the Bouncers, which is Brian Milanes and Beer City Bruiser. Danhausen is a bit of a character more than a wrestler, which I find to be great. He, for a finish, he feeds people teeth he has in a jar and takes them out of his mouth. And PCO, if you don't know, is Pierre-Carl Ouellette, of the Quebecers tag team in WWE, I believe. And then Malonis and Beer City Bruisers are just two big bruising dudes. Like, I don't even know how to explain what they are. You just gotta watch them. They're incredible. If I had to pick between what two teams are gonna win here, I think I gotta go Danhausen and PCO. Like, as much as I like the Bouncers, those guys are just, they're too good. They're on a roll too, I think. Next up, a bit of a grudge match as Demonic Flamita takes on Rey Horus. These two guys, along with Bandito, which we'll talk about him a little bit later, formed the Trios tag team Mexa Squad, and they were the six-man tag team champions until they were beaten by Shane Taylor Productions, who I will talk about again later. Flamita has suffered losses to Bandito and I believe also Rey Horus recently too. But they have, all three of them have put on such great matches together. I think this is where Flamita gets the win here, though. That just feels right to me. I don't know. Next up, a bit of faction warfare as we got three stables going at it together as Jay Lethal, who represents the Foundation, takes on Brody King of Violence United. Violence is forever, Violence United. There's a lot of violent, teams out there and stables out there. It's kind of confusing. I love Jay Lethal. He's one of my favorite wrestlers, maybe ever since I saw him in TNA/Impact. Brody King has really been showing me something as the more I watch ROH. He's slowly becoming one of my favorites to watch. And this one is definitely one I'm kind of split on. But I think I'm going to go with my head here, and I'm going to say Brody King gets the big old win here. Next up, another singles match, but this time, last man standing. As we have Josh the Goods Woods taking on the last real man, Silas Young. These two have had a mentor-protege kind of relationship in the past. And recently Silas attacked Josh Woods after actually Josh Woods beat Silas, if I remember correctly. And I think that's where we're going to go here. I think Josh Woods beats Silas Young and then hopefully moves on to bigger and better things. And I'm hoping that that's a shot at the Pure Championship. Next up, EC3 against Flip Gordon. EC3, of course, from, ton of different promotions, from Impact, WWE, etc., etc. He has kind of found his place as a kind of, what do you call it? As kind of a truth teller, I guess. As he has been, driving these find your narrative promos, which have been really good. So I think EC3 gets the win here. Flip Gordon has pretty much been a hitman ever since his stable with PCO and another gentleman who I won't mention here broke up. So I think that's still going to be a thing. I think EC3 gets the win here. Another singles match, this time our first title match, as we get Tony Deppen of Violence United, or Violence Unlimited, whatever it is. The TV champion takes on Dragon Lee. Now, this is an interesting one because Dragon Lee was champion at Final Battle. However, he had to go out with an ear injury, so he couldn't really defend the title. So instead, Kenny King defended in his place, in which he lost it to... who the heck was it? Red Titus, I think it was? No. It was Hot Shot Tracy Williams. That's who it was. And he was double champ for a while, along with having the tag titles with Red Titus. But then he lost it to Tony Deppen, and now we have this match, in which it's a title match where Dragon Lee didn't really lose the title. So I am actually kind of torn on this one too, because I like both guys. And my head is saying, no, Deppen's going to retain. He's going to get some help somewhere. But my heart is saying Dragon Lee. So I think I'm going to go with my heart on this one. I think I'm going Dragon Lee. Gets his title back. Speaking of the Pure Champion, in a Pure Rules match for the Pure Wrestling Championship, champion Jonathan Gresham takes on Mike Bennett, who, yes, has been in WWE, but he got his start in ROH alongside his now tag team partner, God damn, I forget his name. I'll hang on. Matt Taven. But I think Taven's been out with injury for a little bit. So, yeah, we're getting this big match. But I think we're... Now, in a Pure Rules match, what it is there's a certain time limit, and you can only use 3 rope breaks. Meaning, like, if you're in a pinfall or a submission, you can only go for the ropes 3 times. And then you only get 1 warning after a closed fist shot. After the second one, you get disqualified. Gresham has been touting to bring back the Pure division, and ROH had a Pure Rules tournament to determine the next champion, which has been Gresham, who's been doing a great job under it. I don't think Gresham's going to be losing here. Like, that would be a little silly. As much as I really like Mike Bennett, this is Gresham's show. Next up, 6-man tag team action play us. As we got Shane Taylor Productions, which is Con, Moses, and Shane Taylor himself, the champions, take on a bit of an odd tag team. As it's Dak Draper, who's a big old tall piece of water. Dalton Castle, who's a bit of an odd bird himself. And Eli Isom, who's a bit on the younger side, but is also very good. I don't see Shane Taylor Promotions losing here. Because, I mean, this is just kind of a thrown together tag team. So, maybe we'll see someone down the line form up and get a shot. Next up, we have Violence for the ROH Tag Team Championships. Normal tag rules this time. 2-on-2. As the Foundation, Red Titus and Tracy Williams, the champions, take on Violence United, which I have been saying that right, being represented by Chris Dickinson and Homicide. Homicide's an interesting note because he's been in LAX in TNA and also has ties to real early ROH. Chris Dickinson is relatively new. I don't really know that much about him. I know he's been on New Japan. But I haven't really seen him wrestle that much yet. Although I do like what I have seen. But I do not think the titles are going to change hands here yet. But I do think down the line we'll see Violence United get another set of titles. Next up, another tag match. This time, no titles on the line. As the Briscoes, Jay and Mark Briscoe, take on Brian Johnson and PJ Black. Johnson and Black aren't normal tag partners, and I could see them clashing here with the Briscoes picking up the win. Sorry, Johnson and Black. And finally, our main event of the evening. For the ROH World Championship, we've got ROH, the champion, representing LF High, against Bandito, representing himself. Bandito earned this by winning a tournament named Survival of the Fittest, which was freaking awesome. I love tournaments. And hopefully I'll see more tournaments down the line. As much as I'd like to see Bandito dethrone ROH, I don't think that's going to happen. I think ROH is going to pull out all the stops. We're going to see a really good match. And I think ROH is going to end up victor. And that's it. That's all my predictions. So next week, I shall give you some results and recap. And also, next week, myself, Victoria, Al, and John, we are going to review the last 2 episodes of Loki. And that's been quite a ride. Also included next week will be predictions for Impact Wrestling's Slammiversary, which, a lot of good wrestling things going on. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please hit the like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for when my next video goes live. I hope you all have a good one. Stay safe. And I shall see you next time. Peace.